All right, welcome. Thanks everyone for joining us today. I'll give it one more sec as folks are streaming in. We are coming to you live. Both Brendan and I are on the West Coast. Let us know where you are joining us from in the chat on your right-hand side, and we'll use that chat widget throughout our time today. Give it one more minute. Denver, Iowa, awesome. California. All right, I'm gonna get us rolling. I appreciate the punctuality for those who are here first. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. We will be sharing the recording at the end, but feel free to still scribble notes throughout. And then if you do have any questions, there is a live chat feed where folks are already typing. There's also a Q&A tab. So when we get to the end, that's where we will be pushing the questions so we can make sure we get everything answered. If we do run out of time for any minute, we'll make sure to follow up. We can see who's posting any of the questions. So keep things rolling throughout. We're going to try to keep this as interactive as possible. All right, here's how we will be using our time today. First, we're going to introduce this concept of our use case framework and how LeanData can be used across the revenue lifecycle. We'll then move into the topic at hand, which is the use case around the AI SDR, where we're seeing things in the marketplace, where it breaks down, and where LeanData fits in. We have a video that we'll jump into with a demo, and then we'll open it up for live Q&A. But as I mentioned, feel free to keep the chat and the Q&A going throughout, and we'll address things as we can. Here's your LeanData team. As I mentioned, we are live, so we'll be rolling with the punches today. I'm Hilary. I lead our product marketing team here at LeanData, and I'm joined by Brendan Hawkins on our solutions consultant team, our resident product expert, as we talk about this use case today. All right, we're going to open up things with a poll. Try to get a sense from the audience. Where are you in this journey with AI SDRs? Are you still in the exploration phase? Are you live in production? Not even thinking about it, just here to learn. There should be a poll tab on the right-hand side, same place where the chat is. So if you pop over there, click your answer, and then we'll kind of see where our audience is today. I'll tell you on the LeanData side, we are live in production. If you go to leandata.com, you can see our AI SDR, Charlie, who you may have engaged with before. So we'll let the poll run for a sec. Awesome. One more sec, and then feel free to push it live. Visit the poll. Oh, you can see it on the live results. Go to polls tab. Nice. Awesome. Thanks for getting those submitted. Let me know if I should stop sharing and we can pop up the poll results, but no stress if not. All right, let me stop sharing for a sec. I want to see the data.
Show me the numbers.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, it's our first time doing a poll, so appreciate everyone's patience. So it looks like most are live in production, almost half. Cool to see. Just exploring, evaluating. The suspense is very real. That's kind of what we figured, that everyone's kind of in a different phase of this journey. So hopefully everyone can take away a different piece of information as you're thinking through this process. Awesome. Thank you, my backstage folks. And I will share my screen again and keep us rolling. All right, we probably have a mix of folks on this webinar today, people who are existing LeanData customers and want to learn more about this use case, or maybe folks who are newer to LeanData, so bear with me, just to give a sense of who LeanData is and how customers are using us. So We call ourselves the intelligent orchestration platform, really tailored for your AI go-to-market motion. And we serve as the connective tissue across every stage of your revenue lifecycle. So if you see that circle in the center, we are there from the lead acquisition stage to the post-sales stages of adoption, retention, and expansion. On the left-hand side, what we're really doing is taking all of those signals within your go-to-market motion, whether they are AI or human or other systems in your tech stack, and we're doing that orchestration in the center through data quality. We're doing the matching, the routing, automating your workflows, scheduling, the governance and reporting, and then we're orchestrating actions on the right hand side. So we've been around for about 12 years, and what we have found is that, no surprise, most people, customers and non-customers, know us for that acquisition phase, that lead acquisition phase, top of funnel, from lead through to the handoffs of opportunity and then revenue. And we saw that internally as well. So this is really the genesis of an internal exercise that we did to document and better understand how customers and LeanData ourselves is using the product throughout the customer lifecycle, because we know that revenue doesn't stop at that lead acquisition phase or that first opportunity phase. So we did this project, about 6 months ago, to really document actual use cases of how our customers are using us. And so all the ones that you see here are ones that we have existing customers leveraging LeanData. And so it went from kind of an internal tool of how we talk about use cases to a customer-facing tool that we were using with existing customers to show, here's where you are on your journey with LeanData. Here's kind of a natural progression or evolution of how other customers are leveraging us in other use cases. So we take this visual and help paint that picture, both for existing customers and net new. So the idea was to bring this concept to life with an ongoing webinar series that we're calling GTM Connected. So you are here for our very first one, and the idea is we'll drill into each of these use cases over time, and we'll continue to add to this map as we're learning about new use cases. Agentic SDR and routing wasn't one on our radar about a year ago, so that's definitely something that we're seeing changing in the marketplace. So that's the use case that we're going to focus on today, how customers are leveraging LeanData within their Agentic SDR scheduling and routing. So what are we seeing in the landscape today? Where does LeanData fit in? So first, a couple of stats. We did a survey of our entire customer base a couple of weeks ago. So this is hot off the press. We haven't published these results yet, but we wanted to get a sense of where our customers were on this AI transformation journey. So a handful of results I thought were relevant to our conversation today. The vast majority, and I was actually surprised at this, have deployed at least one agent within their go-to-market motion, and almost 80% are scaling or actively deploying AI. So deploying AI doesn't necessarily have to mean an agent. It could be other AI-driven workflows within go-to-market. So this is absolutely something that's top of mind for our customer base, hence why we started with an AI use case. So drilling in more specifically on the AI SDR use case. So think of it as the agentic version of your SDR, your BDR, your XDR, who's handling potentially the inbound, potentially the outbound, but really that tip of the spear for the first stage of the sales lifecycle. So what are we seeing externally in the marketplace? A massive uptick in adoption if you rewind back the clock to about 2 years ago in terms of adoption in production. Almost 41% have an AI SDR in production now. The market size also significantly growing over that time period and is expected to continue to grow between now and 2030. What does an AI SDR actually do? The results that customers are sharing, and not just our customers, anyone using an AI SDR, is the ability to qualify a lead in less time, so in under 5 minutes versus roughly 30 minutes for a human, and really getting more of that top of funnel productivity versus a non-AI outbound team. Doesn't mean AI SDR is going to solve all of your use cases or all of your pipeline challenges. There's absolutely still a human element in the loop, and we'll talk about where that fits in. What we are seeing is that typically AI SDRs can't go the last mile. They're generating a lot of signals. They're helping to do maybe qualification on your website or answer questions, but they don't always have the information to determine what should happen next. So depending on who that person is, can the AI SDR understand, is this a net new prospect or is this an existing customer that I need to get to the representative for that account? Do I need to pass it to an SDR, the account executive, a CSM, maybe a product expert, and who's actually available? The AI SDR typically has a limited set of information that it can work from. And what that means is that the handoff breaks, and that means your revenue lifecycle is broken. So first, the most common thing that we see is misrouting the leads and the AI SDR not being able to know, is this an existing customer, and treating that person as if they are a net new prospect, asking them the same questions. Imagine how frustrating that would be. Losing someone at the point of interest and losing meetings that would turn into an opportunity and a revenue. And one that we definitely hear come up with our customers is this idea of a black box. People know LeanData for that ability to have a full audit log and governance and auditability, and an AI SDR isn't providing that level of visibility. So our view is that the agents are probabilistic, as they should be, but your routing shouldn't be. And LeanData bridges that gap between the probabilistic AI reasoning and the deterministic action that needs to happen to make sure those signals become a meeting with the right person every time, and that translates into revenue. So our point of view is that we want to be that agnostic layer. We know that this market is going to change. We have customers using LeanData with all of the AI SDR agents that you see on the right-hand side, but this is a bring your own model. So whether you're building one in-house or thinking about some of the players that are on the market, the way that we have built our LeanData integration is for you to leverage LeanData routing and scheduling through our APIs or our new MCP support, so that you can really get the most out of the investment that you want within your tech stack. So you might be thinking, well, my AI SDR that I'm looking at does scheduling. So what is LeanData doing differently? Some do have scheduling built in, some don't. So what we're seeing with the ones that do have scheduling built in is that they can only go so far. And so the routing logic may have some basic capabilities, but when you think about all the complexity that you know and trust LeanData for, why rebuild that in a second place and not map to your GTM motion that you've already captured with LeanData? It also often doesn't have that round robin that you've built in to your capabilities and know which person needs to go to, who should it go to in the round robin pool, what if someone's out on vacation, and have all of that downstream information to make the right decision. And then finally, that black box and auditability as well. So while some AI SDRs may have that scheduling capability built in, our customers, what we're seeing within our customer base is that they are extending their AI SDR, but tying it to what they've already built into LeanData with their robust routing and matching logic. We also know that agents are showing up not just in this AI SDR use case, but in all of these use cases across your go-to-market motion. So while we won't dive into all of these today, I just do want to kind of underpin the ideas that we're the orchestration, that agnostic orchestration layer underneath, where we can extend those agentic capabilities based on all the governance and routing and logic that you know and trust LeanData for. A couple of stories, and if you have been on any of our customer marketing webinars, most recently we've highlighted a couple of these use cases. You can also find all sorts of more detail on our website if you're interested in learning more about these customer use cases. But a handful of AI SDR stories in motion today. So Uber for Business is using Agentforce to think about their self-service motion and how they can really scale that one-to-many part of the smaller end of their market. And so they can, a new customer can engage with their Agentforce agent to get fully onboarded. But when an issue comes up, LeanData Book It allows that person to connect in real time, book a meeting with someone on their support side to keep that self-serve customer moving. So they're bringing in the human at the point of need and letting the agent kind of take those steps in the meantime. Telium, also using an AI chat solution, I believe they are a OneMind customer, is pulling up that Book It, which we'll show in the demo in a second, to be able to book when a meeting is ready and someone is ready at that time of interest. And if it's a known visitor, they can automatically route that to their rep versus maybe it's not right for an SDR, they're ready to talk to an actual account executive. And then Treliant, I believe that was one of our most recent stories that we talked about. They're leveraging Qualified, which we also have on our website. And again, sharing that book it in real time ability for a customer to book time with the right person. They're also using one of our newer capabilities, the LeanData AI inference node in their graph to enrich the data to make sure they are validating and routing it to the right BDR in their organization. So this next slide before we hop into the demo is intended to just kind of give you a sense of where LeanData fits into the flow. And Brendan, please feel free to come off mute as I chat through this, and I will build out the slide from left to right.
I don't think I'm on mute. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, essentially the agent will start by engaging with a prospect on your website in most cases. So people are experimenting with Qualified and OneMind. So you've got, Piper and Mindy, Agentforce, Warmly.ai, whatever agent they're using, you can either use one of LeanData's, Bookit APIs to embed the scheduling, or you can even just use our simple scheduling links, which is an easy way to test the different marketing tools. And then what's going to happen is some folks will schedule with the agent and some folks won't. A lot of folks will just ask questions of the agent, and that's still going to flow into your LeanData lead router, where you can apply things like SLAs and automatically adding people to campaigns, cadences, and sequences. Now, when it comes to the different severities of leads, most folks are testing this out on, SMB commercial space, low kind of level leads. When it comes to these hot leads, we're going to surface the calendar of, a matched account owner or matched opportunity owner, but probably not engaging an agent in that case. But then as we move down and we look into like warm leads, well, there's an opportunity for an agent to answer some questions and, just do basic qualification. Like on our website, if you go, you'll see that we ask what CRM system you use, because we work with Salesforce primarily. So it'll do those basic qualifications and then schedule with a live human. Now, what we're starting to see at the bottom level here, that kind of, either leads that went cold or really, low market areas, is that maybe you have an agent that can take it full cycle. We definitely have customers that are taking it all to the point where you're basically just ordering the product at the end of the conversation with a live human, and LeanData is able to make that warm transfer, pull up that human's calendar, and maybe have that conversation, right now, essentially.
Awesome. Thank you. So this isn't the only way it can be set up in your flow, but it's a question we get from a lot of customers, kind of where would LeanData fit in this overall kind of signal to next step. All right. So now we are going to jump into a demo recording. So I'm going to pass over to our team to get that going live.
My absolute favorite part about LeanData's scheduling app is that you just download it off the App Exchange natively into Salesforce. It really has to be one of the easiest to implement marketing tools out there today, especially if you're an existing LeanData customer, where all we need to do is fire up this new tab for Book It, and then it will automatically enable scheduling for both humans and agents alike. Everything will also leverage your LeanData matching. For over a decade, LeanData has been recognized as the heavyweight champion when it comes to lead to account matching in Salesforce. And you better believe when data comes in from these AI SDRs, it's good, it's bad, missing, ugly, not unlike the forms and chatbots that preceded them. So we'll apply tools like word component tokenization, synonym and acronym dictionaries for people and companies, fuzzy matching algorithms, and of course your custom tiebreaker rules when we run into multiple matches. What does all this mean for scheduling? It means that we schedule with the right person or team the first time, every time. All right, the first AI SDR that we're going to be looking at today is the one for your website, likely in place to answer questions, provide information, maybe even quick demos, and then of course to book live meetings with human SDRs. We do all of this, of course, through standard web forms, but what's become very popular in 2026 with LeanData customers is to experiment with tools like Piper from Qualified or Mindy from OneMind. We have folks using Warmly.ai and, of course, Agentforce as well to engage with prospects on their website, answer questions, and book meetings. So this is Charlie. This is LeanData's AI SDR that's built on the Qualified platform. I have the ability as a prospect to have a live conversation with Charlie, ask probing questions, and then, of course, book meetings. Let's go take a look.
How can I help you?
Hey, Charlie, I was wondering if you could tell me what LeanData does.
Of course. LeanData is an intelligent GTM orchestration platform for Salesforce. It automates lead-to-account matching, routing, scheduling, and coordinated actions across your revenue team.
That's fascinating. Who are some of your largest customers?
Great question. Some of our biggest customers include Anthropic, OpenAI, and Databricks. They rely on LeanData to streamline their go-to-market operations.
That's amazing. Can I get a live demo?
Happy to set up a demo. What's the best email to use? You can type it into the chat for accuracy.
Charlie's going to take my email, process it, and determine if he should book a meeting and then with whom. Could be a matched account owner, matched opportunity owner,
Thanks, Brendan.
maybe a round robin
Now,
pool.
could you let me know the size of your company? You can pick from the options on your screen.
Great.
Got it.
So what Charlie has done is he's gone into Salesforce, he's pulled up a flow builder, and then gone into the individual or individual's calendar, whether it be Google Cal or Microsoft, and pulled up availability based on a set of rules. Within the Book It for Forms flow builder, you'll find entry nodes for demo requests, our qualified AI SDR, chat conversations, and routing links new for 2026. Within the qualified SDR node, you'll find every answer to every question that was asked of the prospect that you'll be able to use in booking decisions. You'll also be able to match to any record inside of Salesforce to identify account owners, opportunity owners, and round-robin pools that you may wish to schedule with. Many customers will also reject a strong percentage of prospects. Maybe they've given you an email address that contains a personal domain. Well, LeanData maintains a list of public domains globally that you can leverage. Even more customers, if they don't match to your account, may choose not to schedule a meeting with you. Not to say they won't chase after that lead later, but if we don't know who you are or who your account is, we may not want to roll out the red carpet and schedule a meeting. When it does come down to scheduling, we can schedule with matched record owners or round-robin pools. Within the round-robin pools, we have count-based pools and order-based pools. You can also have additional hosts that can be either required or optional. All meetings will come with a meeting type, which will determine the branding, logos, length of meeting, and communications that go out to the prospect. And then for every meeting we schedule, we'll create an event in Salesforce that you can stamp with custom data. Now, the fact of the matter is, many people will engage with these AI SDRs, but not everybody will schedule a meeting. This is what brings us to use case number 2 for LeanData's AI SDR orchestration. For our next AI SDR use case, we'll be discussing email agents. This process starts by creating dedicated Salesforce users for each one of your email agents. As new records come in, clients will take a number of different steps when it comes to enrichment, matching, and then ultimately decision-making to determine who gets the record. In our example here, we have enterprise and commercial leads. When it comes to AI SDR experimentation, LeanData customers are strongly leaning into the commercial and SMB prospects. With this particular round-robin pool, we have a hybrid round-robin pool of both Charlie, our AI agent, and Hugh and Heidi, our human SDRs. Leveraging LeanData allows them to change the distribution percentages that go to the humans versus the agents as they do their A/B testing. This also allows you to use LeanData's reporting and dashboards to ensure that every record gets worked on every time. LeanData also has the ability to automatically add prospects to outreach sequences, SalesLoft cadences. This allows you to automatically kick off emails with scheduling links to schedule meetings with live human beings. We also track SLAs, and this isn't just for the humans. AI agents break down too. You have the ability to enforce one or multiple milestones within your SLA with LeanData's new SLA node. You also have the ability to evaluate only while the user is working. This works great for humans because it makes the rules fair. For agents, they can work around the clock. Also new for the SLA node is extended tracking time, where you can see ultimately how long it took to get the process completed, even if the SLA expired. Built-in notifications are available, although at this particular use case, we're going to send a different notification to a human if an SLA is missed, versus if an SLA is missed by an AI SDR, that notification will go to the AI SDR admin. And if you are a human SDR or SDR leader, you'll really like our SLA dashboard package that's up on the App Exchange. This allows everyone to track their performance against their peers to ensure they're never ever replaced by an AI SDR.
Thank you, Brendan. We tried to cram a lot into that recording so you could get a sense of both the end user experience on the front end and what's happening on the back end with LeanData. So thank you so much for capturing that. And let me keep our slides moving. I see we've had at least 2 questions come through the chat. So keep those coming as we round out our conversation today. Brendan, anything you want to mention on that initial question regarding APIs with the integrations?
Yeah, I mean, we've done a number of different scenarios. I mean, obviously the ones we showed you where you're presenting calendars through agents. We've also had humans take over conversations with agents. So once they're qualified, a human takes over. And I couldn't remember if the customer decided they were going to tell the prospect or not, but we can do those transfers. In terms of the use cases, they're all kind of coming from different corners these days. We have customers using LeanData also for orchestrating like sales process agents that look for risk on deals, like single threaded opportunities and $0 deals after certain stages. So there's other things in the background. Yesterday, our first example of an outbound calling agent was presented to us by another customer, where the agent is calling out to a prospect. It'll answer questions, and then it uses the Bookit APIs to pull up the calendar and suggest times when you can meet with your matched account owner or somebody who's up next in your round robin pool. So, if there's some limitation you run into with our APIs, I think our team is willing to add on to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And great question. And thanks for sharing the documentation, Brendan. Yeah, curious in the chat if there are use cases you all are thinking about with the AI SDR or other tools maybe that we haven't mentioned. Would love to hear from folks in terms of what you're exploring. Brendan, I'll pass you to answer that next question that just came in.
Yeah, so Olga, Bookit is our tool. So it's our scheduling tool, the calendar piece that you saw pop up, and it can be integrated with Piper, with Qualified, OneMind. You could run 2 of them simultaneously to see which one books the most meetings for you. That's kind of the beauty of LeanData, is we allow you to use that scheduling tool on multiple marketing tool sets.
And Brendan, how long do you, in terms of like configuration, what's been your experience in terms of getting a customer up and running?
I mean, if you're already a LeanData customer and you have your matching set up, that's really the tough part, is to fine tune that. To go add on, I mean, a good example, when Drift kind of imploded last year, we had about a dozen customers that moved over to Qualified. They were over in a couple days, and only because they wanted to go to Sandbox and test. The actual implementation is done on a phone call, like 1 hour workshop.
Yeah, and just to double click on the question that was there. So when you think about LeanData's offering, you've got Orchestration, our core matching and routing engine, and then Bookit is our scheduling solution. So those 2 work hand in hand.
Yep. So they'll schedule meetings, hopefully with Piper. When they abandon that calendar, it's going to come through your lead router, and we can take all kinds of actions like automated emails with scheduling links. This is a pretty common next step.
Awesome. We also released the Bookit MCP server. If you want to chat about that at all, Brendan, and how that differentiates from customers have been leveraging our Bookit APIs, and now we do have the MCP.
MCP server, yep. You can get all kinds of insight, connecting Bookit with other systems and see, not just, meeting volumes, but what's going on within these meetings, the trends that are happening out there today, and then being able to connect it just to all your different systems in and outside of Salesforce. And then I see, are they navigated to a separate window? It's actually vendor by vendor, and it depends on their APIs. So with Qualified, it's a modal experience. So we pop the calendar right next to the chatbot vendor. With Agentforce, it's inside the chat. With OneMind, it's a new tab that opens up. So it's 100% to do with the APIs available by the chat provider or AI SDR provider.
Great question.
The other one, SDR outbound. Yes, we have SDRs doing outbound. We do this today using Crew AI, and we're actually moving over to Cloudflare. But we have outbound AI SDRs that are sending emails and scheduling meetings with live humans using Bookit. And then I mentioned the phone call, outbound phone agent is something that's very new, just was presented yesterday.
Absolutely. So inbound or outbound motion, you can weave in the scheduling piece depending on.
You can also add our scheduling links to campaigns, cadences, sequences. So all those standard tools that people are using for outbound work as well. And then we do have a whole tool set for the SDRs called Handoff. That would be for like human to human transfers.
Awesome. We'll give it another minute if other questions come through the chat. What I will do in the meantime, so we're not sitting here in silence, is just share some of the additional resources and next steps that we have. So I mentioned earlier that we've been leveraging this solution use case map with our customers. And what we're able to do, if you're an existing customer, is run a report to see, based on how you have configured LeanData, what use cases it looks like you are currently leveraging LeanData for. It's been really helpful when we've been doing quarterly business reviews with our customers. So everyone who is here and a customer will be receiving from your account manager in the next week what your view of this looks like. If you are a prospect, we are absolutely still happy to have that conversation and share based on answer any questions based on your initial use cases and where you'd like to learn more about LeanData. So be on the lookout for that as a follow-up. I don't see more questions yet. So this is our next poll. So we want to make sure this series is tailored to what you all want to hear in terms of learning more about use cases that you may not be familiar with in terms of what LeanData can do. So let me stop sharing. Tell us what you would like to see us cover in a future GTM connected session. This one was focused more on that acquisition phase, but do you want to hear more about how customers are leveraging LeanData for maybe customer adoption, retention management, expansion? So the poll tab is back. If you want to click over there and tell us what you would love to hear more about. If you're an existing customer, you can always flag that to your account manager or CSM, and we'll make sure to prioritize what you are hoping to learn more about. And if there is a use case that you did not see us show, we want to hear about it. We're trying to document customer stories across all of these. Oh my gosh, these are pretty neck and neck. Pre to post sales handoff, awesome. That's one that we use internally here at LeanData as well. So that would be a great one for us to share more about. Awesome.
So all good ones.
All right, let's see if there's any more. Oh, one more question. You want to answer that, Brendan? I'll get
Yeah, absolutely, Wendy. Direct to account owners and direct to opportunity owners. Definitely. Sometimes in the enterprise account owner space, you'll see an SDR that'll get in between the conversation. But in most cases, that's what we're doing, is matching to record owners and scheduling with those record owners. Account owners. Imagine if you're mid-late stage in a deal and somebody else goes onto the website and asks for a demo. They don't need to go talk to an SDR. It's obviously like a second, third buying influence. So we can pull up the opportunity owner's calendar. And then the rest of it is usually round robin pool based.
Great question.
Yep.
Awesome. I'll like drag this out as folks think of a few more questions. We did want to highlight a handful of resources that we have on this use case. We will share the recording. We will be reaching out with our use case assessment as well. And then we've got various resources on this topic to help get you up to speed. There is a new landing page on our website. We've got a blog post on it and a brand new technical implementation guide as well to really help you configure your AI SDR with LeanData. And then we've got subject matter experts on our side who get involved in the configuration as well. I see one more question that's come through. In order to get this solution installed, do we need to engage with professional services at LeanData, or is it done through our CSM?
Professional services does get involved usually because you also want to turn some things off and change some things on your lead router to accommodate for these folks that are scheduling. But Olga, usually we just start with a live demo. If you want to schedule one, I'd be happy to reach out. We'll get that on the calendar and we can talk through all the implementation steps and the product as well.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, thank you all for joining for our first in this new series. Open to any feedback. Hope this was helpful, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.